It was a great fucking movie. That's all you need to know. Welcome back. Today we're talking about A Star is Born. At my school there was a pre-screening for the movie. So as you know, the movie's coming out on October 5th. So we're going to talk about the movie plot, a review of the movie, and there's going to be a lot of spoilers. I'm not a movie critic, so I'm not going to use official terms like the rising action and stuff. So I'm just going to talk out of my ass, basically. So the very beginning of the movie started out with Bradley Cooper, who plays, oh my god, what was his name?
Wow, really? I think his name? No, I think I like the poster.
Jackson Maine. So Bradley Cooper plays Jackson Maine, who is a country singer, as like we see within the first few minutes, he is obviously an alcoholic and he is constantly taking pills before and after his show. And then after his show, he wants to go drink some more. He's out of liquor, so he ends up going to...
You won't know he's an alcoholic until after that scene.
Okay, I thought it was pretty obvious that he was an alcoholic to begin with. But so basically afterwards, he goes to a bar and it's a drag night at the bar. And there's Lady Gaga, and she was performing La Vie en Rose, which is a really good song, and basically he falls in love with her voice. FYI, Lady Gaga is not playing a drag queen, that she just happened to be like performing there that night also. Anyway, so he falls in love with her, and then he's like, come away with me, in whatever accent that was. Right from the start, they have chemistry, and then like you can see like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be an epic love story. So then afterwards, they go to a bar where Lady Gaga, her character's name is Allie, punches this guy who was being basically a dick to Bradley Cooper's character. And then like it's all cute, like he gives her peas for her knuckles, and then they're like sitting on a curb, he's drunk, she's singing to him, and then he like falls in love with her like right then. And then basically stalks her for a little bit, but not like in a weird way, like some other movies romanticize stalking. Then he's like, oh, like, please come to my show. And then she's like, okay. And then she goes to the show. Then he's like, by the way, that song that you sang the other night, you're performing it right here with me. So yeah, and then like that started this whole thing where they went on tour together. Then Allie became huge. But like right like in the middle of the movie, there's just like this dark tone where you're like, okay, something's about to like get fucked up. So you can see that his drinking problem is getting progressively worse as they are falling more in love with each other. It's just bad. Like he is like he's a drunk. With that, like they add character to that, you know, like usually in movies they'll just have like a drunk be a drunk, but basically they humanized him.
He's a human?
He's a human! But like a lot of movies, when they portray drunks, they don't portray the human aspect of them. So you can see how in love he is with her, but he also is struggling with this alcoholism, but it's not being addressed by the right people. And then they end up getting engaged, and they end up getting married, and then Allie starts like launching her own career, and then at the same time Jackson's career is like starting to fizzle out, and then at one point he even gets replaced by somebody else, and then Allie has like become a huge success, but also like her manager is kind of a dick and wants to change her, and then you see like her style change from, was it down to earth country into like pop, and then like he's even like, oh, we need to dye your hair, and I don't know, it was weird. So she changes a little, but then like throughout all of this, she gets really successful, even wins, like she's nominated for 3 Grammys, wins a Grammy, and this is like basically when the whole thing went to shit, and you're like, this is what all the like weirdness throughout the movie has been hinting towards. He was already at the Grammys and he had been replaced by somebody, so he had to be like a guitarist, like the person's guitarist, even though like he was bigger than the other person. It just like kind of hurt his ego, so he got really drunk. Then he went to go sit down with Allie. It was announced that she won the Grammy, but she goes up to get her award, and he like starts going with her, but then he stumbles down, falls on the stairs like Jennifer Lawrence in like, what was that, like the 2014 Grammys or something, or he eventually stumbles up with her, and she's like giving her acceptance speech, and he's standing next to her, and he is so drunk. And then he pissed himself on stage at the Grammys and then collapsed, and it was this whole dramatic thing. They carried him out, and then he gets sent to rehab. But the whole time he's in rehab, like Allie's still doing her shows, but she misses him a lot. Like The thing about the movie is that they love each other so deeply, which is also part of like why the movie is like, it's great. It's not just a tragic story about somebody falling in love and then like somebody having alcoholism and then like both of their lives getting destroyed, which like does happen, but it's still great. Like, it's a great love story. So he gets sent to rehab. Everything seems great. He's obviously like a little depressed about everything and he feels so bad, but it seems like he's on the right track to making things happen, and then goes home. And now we're going to talk about Allie's manager, which I said earlier was kind of a dick. Allie's not there. The manager talks to Jackson and is basically like, you're a fuck up and you're going to ruin Allie's career if you stay with her. And then so what happens next was just like, oh my god, it was so bad because he finally seemed like everything was getting back together. Then like Allie's at a concert and she was like, this is the last concert and then I'm gonna be home with you all summer, because she had actually had a whole tour in Europe planned, but she decided to cancel it so she could stay with him because her manager wouldn't agree to let him go with her on the Europe tour. And then so at her last concert, he has this huge dramatic scene. He distracts his dog so that his dog won't like, I don't know, do something, and then he goes and he kills himself in the garage. Like, he hangs himself with a belt. Oh, it was the saddest scene ever. Like, everybody in like my school's little theater was like, and then like you could audibly hear people like starting to cry. And then it's just so sad because afterwards it shows Allie and like the effect it had on her, and you could see how much she really loved him. But the way the movie ended was her singing a love song that he had written for her, and then it ended with her staring into the camera. That's just basically a short summary of the movie, but it doesn't really do the movie justice in any way. So, in conclusion, Bradley Cooper is an amazing actor and director. If you didn't know, he did direct this movie. It was an amazing movie. Just the whole time you feel all the raw emotions, and it just seemed so, it was great. I don't know, what's a word?
that's it. Good.
And I know Lady Gaga has been in like in TV shows before. I don't think she's ever been in a movie before. I could be wrong, but she did a really good job at portraying somebody with such raw emotion and just somebody who was so new and innocent to an industry. And Bradley Cooper is really good at portraying a damaged person. He's really good at playing a damaged person, and that's kind of scary because you're like, how can you be that good at that? But this story is the type of movie where everybody can feel a connection at some point or another. It's not just one of those movies that you go in for entertainment. It's something that you go in to feel, like to completely submerge yourself into a plot and really like become attached to characters, which is what makes the ending so tragic. It's a work of art. I highly recommend this movie. It's premiering on Thursday. That is my review. I got these awesome posters for free. It's really a great movie. You should go out and see it. Like this video just like this video. Comment what you thought of the movie if you've already seen it, and share it with your friends. Save it to your lists or whatever, and subscribe to my channel for more content later. So, bye.